On the menu today, rosemary Parmesan bread baked on my Kamado. You want to see more about it? Stick around. Hello everyone and welcome back. If you've been watching my channel for a while now, you know I'm a fan of fresh herbs. In fact, I grow them on my patio every year. I dry them in the dehydrator and I keep them for the winter. I even keep some plants indoors or in my heated garage all winter, so I have access to fresh herbs all year round, right? So now I have some rosemary that's starting to get overgrown and I want to trim it back to bush it up some more, but I don't want to just throw away the sprigs or dehydrate a small batch of sprigs. So I said, well, let's do something with them. So I decided, I'm gonna make some rosemary parm bread. So you wanna see more about how I did it? Keep on watching. This recipe is basically a variant of my sourdough bread recipe. I've done a video on that in the past about how to make basic sourdough bread. I've also done a video related to that on how to make yeast starter, a natural yeast starter for that bread. Well, I use that recipe and that starter in here, and basically all I have to do to make this into a rosemary Parmesan bread is add the rosemary and the Parmesan. So I grab a few sprigs of the rosemary, stripped off the leaves, chop it up real fine, add it into the flour with the rest of the ingredients. I also shredded probably between a half cup and a cup's worth of Parmesan cheese. I dumped that into the batter as well and put it in my stand mixer, gave it a churn for several minutes until the dough was nice and stretchy and pliable. Then I went ahead and rolled it out, formed it up like I do any other loaf of bread, and let it rise initially. And that initial rise, because I'm using a natural sourdough yeast, takes a lot longer than if you were using store-bought active yeast, for example. So this rise took about 4 hours to do. It can vary depending on how hot it is outside, how active your yeast is, et cetera, right? Then after that initial rise, I pull it out, reform it again, punch the air out of it, and put it into a banded tin with a little flour on top to keep it from sticking to the plastic wrap that then I have to add to it to keep the bugs and the other critters out while it rises again. And that took a couple more hours. It rose, again, this is a natural sourdough yeast. It's not super strong, but it's super flavorful. So I'll take flavor over speed any day if you know how I cook, right? Then when it was close to finish rising, I fired up my Kamado to about 450 degrees in the dome temperature. Now that 450 at that dome temperature is actually not 450 at the grate level where the bread's baking. It's actually gonna be hotter down there, probably closer to 500. And 500 is about where I like to bake my breads in the oven inside the house as well. Now I do this because the initial spring you get, by starting your oven off at 500 degrees or so, you put your freshly rolled and proofed dough into the oven, or in this case my Kamado, and in about the first 5 to 10 minutes it'll get a spring basically. So it'll go from sort of like a flatter kind of dough to like a very fast lift, and it'll form itself in about that 10 minutes. But from about that point on, you don't want it to keep baking it at that high of a temperature because you'll burn the crust and the dough will still be raw on the inside. So what you do is that you want to get that temperature down to about 425, 435 for the rest of the time it cooks, so it's got time to bake inside without burning the outside. So to accomplish this on a Kamado, because with the oven you can just turn down the temperature and you're good to go. Here I got it up to about 450 at the dome, again probably about 500 at the grate, and I closed the vents down almost all the way basically because I'm done heating this thing up. All I want to do is drop the temperature now, so I basically closed the vents, maybe a small crack in there just for a little bit of airflow, and I let it bake for the same amount of time as I basically would inside the oven, which was basically between 30 to 40 minutes depending on the actual temperature that you're cooking at. Then I pulled this thing out, let it cool a little bit on a cooling rack, and I went ahead and sliced it up, and man, I mean, it looks good, right? But it tastes good too. Sorry I didn't get a tasting video of this. You've seen people eat bread before, okay? Plus it's already gone. It didn't last that long. So that's it. It's that simple. So if you like my video, give me a thumbs up, comment down below. You have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments section. I'll try to respond to every single one of them if I can, all right? And other than that, I'll talk to y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out other videos on my YouTube channel and don't forget to subscribe.